Shalom, all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, double honors to the elders of Great Millstone who rule well. Peace and salutations to the elect and all the brothers pushing this work in sincerity and in truth. This is Brother Thamine from GMS Toronto. Coming at you with another video, and I'm going to name this video Boss B. Okay? Boss B. Because these days, right, most of these women, they talk about they're independent, right, and they have a boss bitch mentality. But all the so-called boss bitches, they can't do the things that are mentioned in the scriptures of what the virtuous woman is supposed to do. They think going to work, having a job, paying bills, that makes them a boss bitch, right? Or having a business, right? And when it comes down to it, they really can't do anything, right? When it comes to the domestic side of things, they're really lost. Really, that's what it is. They're lost when it comes to the meat of what life as a woman should be about, of what life as a wife should be about, right? Just the word woman just means servant, really, servant to her husband, But compare this, right? And tell me who would you rather be with, right? A woman that's in the scriptures with the characteristics of um, what a virtuous woman is or should be, or a woman that's in today's society who's claiming to be independent and a boss bitch. This is Proverbs 31 and verse 10, and I'm going to read all the way down. Who can find a virtuous woman? For her price is far above rubies. The heart of her husband doth safely trust in her, so that he shall have no need of spoil. She will do him good and not evil in the days of her life. Right? That's the opposite of what we have today. Right? Women are petty due to the fact that feminism has sunk deep into these women's heart, right? Their mind. Now their minds are snares and nets, and all they do is think about evil, right? Ways in which to get back at you if you make a mistake, right? She seeketh wool and flax, and worketh willingly with her hands, right? She is the okay. So now we live in the city, right? And this is literal. Okay, seek it wool and flax. I mean, we live in the city. We don't have access to these things. But let's say we did. How many of these women can sew? How many of them can sew if your clothes has a tear in it? You're gonna have to buy new clothes, man. Right? These city bitches, right? These city slickers, they're useless pretty much. When you go to the countryside, you have women that does these things, right? She is like the merchant ships. She bringeth her food from afar, right? And it's not literal, okay? It's comparing the woman to a merchant ship, How many of these women know how to farm? And the funny thing is, a lot of them are living in the city talk about, oh, I can farm in my backyard. You live in the city. There's no such thing as the farming in the backyard. You can get a couple of crops in the summer or whatever, but for them to hold it down and be like a farmer, they really don't know what they're doing, really. So the independent woman, this is the opposite of what she is. She riseth also while it is yet night, and giveth meat to her household, and the portion to her maidens, right? Most of these women, they get up and they go to work for someone else. Their husbands are not in their thoughts because they're out here making their bosses happy. That's who's in their thoughts, right? She considered a field and buyeth it. With the fruit of her hands she planted a vineyard, right? She girded her loins with strength and strengthened her hands, her arms, Salakia. She perceiveth that her merchandise is good. Her candle goeth out It's like a goat not out by night, right? She laid her hands to the spindle, and her hands holded the staff, right? Like I said, none of these women don't know how to sew. They don't know how to stitch anything up, right? Let's say you want something to put on your chair. They don't know how to use needle and thread and make we call it dialy back home, right? They don't know how to make a chair rest. They don't know how to make a sweater, right? All they know how to do is get the money and go to the store and buy it, right? She is not afraid of the snow of her household, for all her household are clothed with scarlet. She maketh herself coverings of tapestry. Her clothing is silk and purple. So obviously we don't have silk and purple in this society because everything's mixed. But which one of these women knows how to do tapestry? Right? Which one of them knows how to do that? Her husband is known in the gates. When he sitteth among the elders of the land, she maketh fine linen and selleth it. These women, they don't want to own a business. The only business that they want to do is OnlyFans, right? Besides that, they don't sit down and come up with a business and try to sell things, man. No, they don't, right? And deliver it girdles unto the merchant. You know, people are there for what do you call it again? People are there for you to traffic with, right? Most of these women, they see men, they don't see men as money. They look at men, you know, if they're already married. Like, you know, it says here in her husband known in the gates and sitteth among the elders, right? She make it fine linen and sell it and deliver girdles unto the merchants, right? They don't look at people on the streets as opportunities for them to, if they have a business, right? Everything's online, whatever, right? But their mind and their thoughts is not on that. Their thoughts is on other things, right? Strength and honor are her clothing, and she rejoiced in time to come. She opened her mouth with wisdom, and in her tongue is the law of kindness. She looketh well to the ways of her household, and eateth not the bread of idleness. Right? You're talking about, this is a virtuous woman here. Most of these women, their mind is hell bent on chaos, right? And idleness. They eat the bread of, they actually do the opposite. They eat the bread of idleness, right? It's like they need something constant to be doing, man, right? You have to have a business for them to do something, have some errands for them to run, or else their minds will be idle. They get bored, right? You have to make things for them because their mind won't be like, oh shit, I'm getting bored. Let me find something to do. Their mind is not on that. Their mind is actually, when they're bored, they go look for chaos and they bring it back to your household, right? That's the opposite of what the woman in the scripture is described as. You know, her children arise up and call her blessed, her husband also, and he praiseth her. Many daughters have done virtuously, but thou excellest them all. Favor is deceitful and beauty is vain. Tell that to these people in this society, man. They know beauty is vain, but they rather be tricked by the beauty. The scripture says, stumble not at the beauty of a woman. But in this society, men know that women, these pretty girls, are bad for them, and they still fall into the traps, right? Because they don't have the law, statutes, and commandments. They don't give ear to what the scriptures have said. They don't give ear to what the word is saying, though. But a woman that feareth the Lord, she shall be praised, right? Not an independent bitch. Give her of the fruit of her hands, and let her own work praise her in the gates, right? So this woman is more valuable than rubies, man, right? This is what an independent woman of this society isn't. Everything that's in this scripture. Shalom.